All right, Dr. Z, what do you think is the first step in deciding how to start studying for the MCAT?
It's important to set a timeline first. So you want to think about, do you want to take the test during undergrad, during your summer break, or even after you graduate? Then you also want to think about how much time you want to give yourself. This is very important because you want to make sure you give yourself enough time to study. I would strongly recommend at a minimum 2 to 3 months of study time if possible.
Well, I think it really depends on how much time per day you're going to be able to study. So, for example, if you're going to school or working at the same time and you're only going to be able to study for 2 hours every evening, you are going to need more than those 2 to 3 months, maybe more like 5 to 6 months. But if you're going to be able to devote yourself to studying only, for example, for 8 to 10 hours a day, then you can get away with maybe 2 months. I actually ended up taking basically a summer vacation, which was about 2 months to study, and I studied about 8 hours a day, which ended up working well for me. All right, Dr. Zia, I mentioned that I kind of preferred to study alone. So, what about other students who also prefer to study alone?
Well, another way to study for the MCAT is to get tutoring or just do self-study. I will say if you hire a private tutor, you will want to be careful that the tutoring company is legit. So please do your research and ask friends about tutoring services before you pocket out the big bucks because it is really expensive. Consider using your school campus tutoring center for help. This is usually free to the students while you're enrolled in undergrad. They may or may not have MCAT tutors, but if you find yourself stuck with something in physics or OChem, you can probably find someone to help you understand those concepts better. And then, of course, you can also do your own thing and get study guides and books like Dr. Marina, and then just study on your own. I will say if you do this, it will take a lot of discipline and well planning.
Mhm.
You want to make sure you are covering the topics well and make sure that you're buying study materials from one of the MCAT study courses, bookstores, or an online. So the books like Dr. Marina did. Then
Mhm.
last but not least, get as many practice exams as possible. Many of the study courses will have practice tests, but really try to get a hold to as many as that you can. I feel that this is probably one of the most important parts of preparing for the MCAT. I really like how this previous MCAT success story interviewee that we spoke to prepared for her weekly simulated exams. And this is how she described it. Fridays were her simulated exam day. She wore the same outfit and shoes that she planned on using the day of the exam. She had this music playlist that she listened to before taking the exam every week as well.
I love that part.
She took the same snacks, lunch, and drinks that she was planning to take on the day of the exam, and she picked the same location to take her practice exams that was quiet. In her case, she went away from the undergrad campus and went to the graduate campus at their library. And then she timed herself in each section, just like if it was a real exam, and she put in the breaks as well. And then she would review afterwards the questions she missed, but also the ones she got right if she thought she had guessed them because she didn't really understand them. So she would review that. And she did this for about 2 months straight, and she had like excellent scores on the MCAT.